On everybody, it's the Silent Strider podcast. Me and Silent, we're just talking some Assassin's Creed Valhalla, some Cyberpunk, some messes. So hopefully you guys come in, you join, you talk and everything like that. So yeah, like we were saying, I just couldn't believe all the hype that surrounded, that absolutely surrounded Cyberpunk, and it's a complete wreck. It's a wreck. Their stock is at like 18 and change right now, US.
Yeah, they lost billions through their investors. Their stock just fell off a mountain about... See, I think it really started to become noticeable is, if you remember, about 48 hours, roughly a week before the game was released, a lot of people started getting their physical copies. Mm-hmm. Because, the world's just in the state that it's in. These copies are going out. Now, one of the guys I watch on YouTube as well, a guy called Dreamcast Guy, he got his game early, and CD Projekt Red actually reached out to him and says, look, we don't mind you talking about the game, but we don't want you giving a review, and you cannot show any of the footage from the consoles. Right. The only footage that's allowed to be showed is PC footage, which immediately should have red flagged everybody. Let's be honest with you. Why are we not seeing console footage? Why are we only seeing high-end PC footage? You expect that when a game's announced, because obviously when a game's announced, it's in early development stages, and the majority of the time it's done on a PC before it goes into the console builds, and so on and so forth.
Right.
But they DMCA took down one of his videos and actually copyright striked him just for talking about the game.
That's crazy.
He never talked about bugs. He never talked about glitches or anything like that. He just kept it to how he felt the story was, without spoilers, and they still took that video down on him. And that's when I started to notice that there was just something a little bit weird about it. Now, full disclosure, I didn't plan on buying it. I didn't have it pre-ordered. I like RPGs, but I'm not interested in a first-person RPG. I like to see my character on the screen. If I'm in a role-playing game, I like to see my character. I like to see what he's wearing, the weapons he has on his back.
What's happening there? But yeah, I like to see that stuff too.
That was what put me off, was the whole first-person thing. But I just feel sorry for everybody who got hyped for that game. And I wonder if CD Projekt Red just got caught in this massive swirl, like, oh god, we've hyped this game to a point, we didn't mean to, it's getting, even more hyped and hyped and hyped as we go along because it's taken so long to get this game up, and now they're at a level. And I wonder if it was just a simple case of panic.
I don't know. I know that they should not have released it like as early as they did, because it really did have like all those bugs and everything. Did you see the comparison videos between the two? What's up, Kyle? They made a comparison video between Cyberpunk and GTA 5.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah, take a look at it. Believe it or not, and I'm not a big fan of GTA 5. Like I'll play it and everything like that, but I'm not a huge fan. Can you believe that it's the better game, GTA 5? GTA 5, they show stuff where like you shoot a tire in GTA 5, the tire pops, the air comes out, things like that. You shoot a tire in Cyberpunk, nothing happens.
Well, here's the thing, and this is where I'm biased with Grand Theft Auto. You need to understand, I'm Scottish, I live in Scotland, and Grand Theft Auto was made not 40 miles away from where I live.
Really?
That's where Rockstar North is housed, in Edinburgh. I believe they have offices in Dundee, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, so I'm very biased. Grand Theft Auto is a very, very much a Scottish game. It's made in Scotland, which probably explains why Grand Theft Auto is the way it bloody is, to be honest. But I don't see, GTA's never ever let me down. And the good thing with Rockstar games as well, and I suppose it's Take-Two Interactive that publishes them. They do always launch broken as well. I mean, maybe not to the extent as Cyberpunk.
Really?
But the Grand Theft Auto games always launch bugged. always. These open world games, I mean, do you remember Odyssey when it first came out, where you would go to an area of the map and you would immediately drop to 1 frame a second and it would take you 20 minutes to get out of that loop?
Yeah. I still have all those videos up.
It would take ages for you to be able to turn the camera to a point where that little frame error thing would stop and you'd be able to run on your merry way again.
Yep.
Well, I don't even think I've experienced anything like that in a Grand Theft Auto game. It's all strange bugs like NPCs flying into the air, and I know Cyberpunk's got that as well, and cars would just immediately take off 50 foot into the air and explode on impact. But something's just amiss. For a game, and I said this and you said this as well, for a game that's been in development for 7+ years, for them not to have turned around a year to 2 years ago and say, look, we just can't make this work on current gen. Like, we have tried everything. It's a buggy, broken mess. Stuff doesn't load quick enough, so the world is just crap. We're going to have to hold this off. We're going to leave it till 2021, launch it direct on next gen consoles, completely optimized. And to the last gen players, we're really sorry, but unfortunately, we cannot deliver you a game that is up to standard with what our vision is. Mm-hmm. And you know what? People would have cried. People would have got upset and said horrible things on Twitter. But they would have got over it, and you certainly wouldn't have had all this going on, and your investors now wouldn't be suing you.
I feel the same way. I feel like, honestly, I feel like it would have been worth the wait. Oh, now, AFK, he actually said, hey, Dark, what do you think of the premium starter pack? Have you seen this? This is like right along the lines of just nonsense with these companies and the stuff that they're doing. Yeah, it actually would have made them more money if they waited to polish the game, because right now they're being sued. So they're in a hard place.
I mean, let's be honest with you. They should have just said 2 years ago, we cannot put our vision on this gen of consoles. We're really sorry. We've tried everything we can. We just can't get the game going. If we were to launch it in that state, we're going to get sued by our investors. Fans are going to be crazy. We're just going to leave it till 2021. We're going to let these the next gen consoles come out, have a year on the market, and then we're going to launch.
That's what they should have done. That's exactly what they should have done. Now, this premium starter pack that they're doing for Valhalla. Have you seen this thing? It's like
I haven't seen it. Like I says, I have not touched Valhalla now in coming on about 4 weeks.
See, AFK, he's got it right. It's a pack that should have been included in the season pass. It at the very least, what it should have done was it should be like a gift that they give us for this game being so broken. What they do is it's like a sail, a shield, a weapon, a couple of things like that and everything. It's really not worth the $14-20 that they want to charge you for it. You know, I'm sitting here like, yeah, it's a scam. It's an absolute scam, and I don't believe
that's a quarter of the price of the game itself.
Yeah, it's some starter packs so that, like, you know, you get like a couple of little extras and everything. It's nothing like really important. It's nothing like really wild to write home about or anything like that. It's not anything fabulous or anything. It's just this really crazy grouping of things that they threw together, and now they want to charge you for that, which is BS, man.
Well,
BS.
I'm actually navigating my way to the Valhalla tab at the moment to drop down so I can have a look at the PlayStation Store and see this thing. Because that sounds like one of those pre-order bonuses that you get a ship, a sail, your crew, and all that. The premium starter pack.
Yeah, that's what they should have.
Jesus. Mate,
yeah, look at that.
£25 in the UK and Scotland for that. £25.
What is that crap? That is crap.
You have got to be. So what does that give you? Oh, of course there's Helix credits in here, because they want you to go to the cash shop and then have about 400 Helix credits left over that you can't spend on jack shit.
Exactly.
Right, so crave your own path to glory with the premium starter pack, which includes an exclusive set of mythical weapons, longship cosmetics, 2,300 Helix credits, which can be used to unlock new gear, weapon tattoo sets, mounts and more. Includes in-game currency and exclusive content. Mate, I'm looking at that. So you get a sword, a bow, an axe, or a tomahawk, a shield. Mate, I wouldn't even pay $750 for that. And what's the Helix credits, man? I don't want no Helix credits. That's just an excuse for us to give you money so that we run out. Hence the reason why it's 2,300 and not like a set amount. Like 2,300. You're going to go into that shop. You're going to blow 1,900. Have 400 left over, and the cheapest thing you're going to be able to buy is some fucking silver.
Why would I do that? Why would I do that? That's exactly why they do it. And then they also.
$24.99 is half the price of the fucking game.
Yeah. And in fact, right now in the US, we have a couple of sales going on. The game itself is $24.99 right now. Jesus. So it's the cost of the freaking game. Why would I do that? Why would I pay that? And then the other thing that I think is garbage is that they released an XP and Silver booster pack. So for everybody that's wondering why they're not fixing the game, but they're taking away the stuff that keeps us going, is because of that. Now, we've also seen...
Which means they saw the backlash from Odyssey for having that XP and booster pack there at day one. They got shredded for that. And what they've done is, instead of launching it day one, they've waited a month and a half to sit in the same fashion Activision used to do things with Call of Duty. If it's not there at launch, they can't talk about it in reviews. Let's add it after that.
Exactly. That is that's scummy. Business. That's scummy.
And that's when independent reviewers like SkillUp, like Yongye, like all these other ones out there should update and just add a small couple of minutes to go, look, this is a month after. This game in this review is not representative of what was there at launch anymore. And it should be the same for outlets like IGN and stuff like that.
No, because they're not...
Those reviews are up there, and by the time you get to your first patch, that review ends up being an actual lie, because a lot of the problems that are in that review or the scams are gone. Or they've been added. So I do feel outlets should be updating reviews at least for the first couple of months. Like Destiny. Destiny will not get a review in its first couple of weeks. Destiny does not get a review until that raid launches and has been completed. Then it's reviewed. What you get is a review in progress. And that's what it should be for games like Assassin's Creed, which are trying to be technically a live service game, which it's definitely trying to be now because they're doing events in-game.
Yeah, but the thing is that places like IGN and all that, they're not going to actually go and like re-review this game and stuff because they're satisfied. They're not worried about the player. They're worried about the social justice aspect. So as long as it's not doing something that, like along the lines of affecting anything or it's equal rights or anything like that, as long as it's not affecting that, they don't care about it until, it really messes with something like that. It's robbing the player, that's fine. It can rob the player. You know what I'm saying?
Or you talk about mutilation and they go running in and patch a single line in a codex page, which is you can fix that. You can fix that in 24 hours, but you can't fix your game.
Exactly. And it was just one word. It was disfigured. They fixed the word disfigured.
So, I mean, if they fixed it in 2020, I'm assuming now all social justice warriors on this planet would tell us we can't use the word disfigured. I guess so. I guess not. Well, guess what? Right. I just said it. I'll keep saying it. Disfigured. Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, we can't fix all these bugs. We have this stupid glitch where, like, every time you walk into, you log into the game now, you're drunk if you did the event that they've got going on now. We're not fixing anything else like that. And we're continuing about our business. Like, it's the dumbest thing. It's so stupid.
Like I said to you, I loaded up yesterday for the first time in ages because I'd heard of the event. And I fast-travelled back to the wee homestead area. And then it hit me with a wee notification, this event has started. And then you could see the game glitching around me. Now, I actually at first thought it was like a cool Animus thing because the snow was appearing on the ground, the decorations were going around the place. Just for the PlayStation to hard crash.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and as soon as it did that, I'm just like, yep, 4 weeks in, and yeah.
Yeah, see, I gotta agree with AFK. He's talking about the bugs, the crashes. SJWs, the next thing they're gonna remove weapons from Valhalla. That's where we're going. It's gonna be to a point where, you know, like you got to play nice with everything.
Yeah.
And AA said that the Christmas event isn't even showing up for him.
Wow. And he's, you know, you've got the Assassin's Creed just a cash grab, you know, and you got to look at that store, and you got to look at what's going on there. And yeah, I maintain Assassin's Creed has not been Assassin's Creed since 3, but arguably Black Flag.
And I want to tell you right now too, do you realize that none of the gear that you get is absolutely necessary? None of it does what Odyssey did, where
you got stats.
Certain gear got better stats. You can use those stats to do better things. The engravings really helped out. You could really work some magic with all that stuff. It's ridiculous now. All this gear, you could walk around with gear that's still in like the flawless state, the second or third state, and you could beat the entire game.
Yeah. Do you know what? And this is the thing, man. For all the bad rep that Odyssey got for its story, god damn, 8 people missing it as an Assassin's Creed game now.
I'm telling you.
You know, it's one of those things. If you were to take the Valhalla story and drop it on the Odyssey engine and leave all the engraving stuff and all the other stuff in place, now that would have been a perfect game. But the fact is 2 years after Odyssey, you launched a game that essentially went back 4 years in its advancements compared to Odyssey. And Odyssey had so much evolution just in its first year.
That's why I can't believe this nonsense, because if you think about it, right, Origins was great because it had the story and it had the present day.
Yep. And Bayek. My second favourite assassin of all time. Ezio being the first. Bayek was the best character they had done since Ezio.
That is crazy. Wait, the Asian version of Valhalla is censored? The Japanese, Korean, and all pissed off at Ubisoft with censored in the game. There's no blood? Wow.
Is that not because of China censorship? Because did they not try to do something like that with Rainbow Six Siege, where the players went nuts because they removed posters from the Western version of the game to appease the Chinese?
Did they?
Yeah, they did, man. I can't remember what the posters were, but Ubisoft patched the game and took posters or something out of the game. The Western audience noticed, then Ubisoft came out and said it was because they were trying to launch the game in China and had certain criteria to meet. At that point, the Western audience went nuts, and then Ubisoft came out and actually agreed to launch an entirely different version of the game over in China, so that the Western version didn't get meddled with. So do you know what? That does not surprise me at all, because they've been caught red-handed before.
Wow, that is that I did not know. That is freaking crazy.
I'm pretty sure it was Rainbow Six Siege. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong on the game, but I'm sure it was either Rainbow Six Siege or it was one of those types of games that Ubisoft puts out. But I remember that because I remember Skill Up and his brother laughing their absolute asses off at Ubisoft because of it.
You know what? You can't just change the game just because it hurts a couple of people's fifis. Get the hell out of here, man.
The reason why they decided to do a different version for China was because they basically came out and went, right, okay, the Western audience has got a point, they've paid for a product, and we're now changing it to appease another country, a completely different, a country with rules and regulations like different to ours. Or dictatorship, Winnie the Pooh and stuff, however you want to look at it.
Right.
So that is what it is. So that's the reason why Ubisoft launched the Chinese version of its own thing. It was because the Western audience just went, yeah, no, we ain't having that. We bought the game, that's the product we got, and are you hell changing the product we got to abide by one country's rules? And
that's
crazy. You have to give the player that. It's unfair on the Western audience who does not have restrictions the way those restrictions are in a different country.
That's psychotic. See, yeah, now AA said that because of the way that they changed it, when Ivor throws the heads at the Queen's feet, they're actually helmets. So the pigs are eating helmets. Like, what kind of sense does that make?
Hell, why in God's name would a pig sit there and eat a metal helmet?
That's what I'm saying. And then AFK said only 5 or 6. He says only 5 or 6 people are annoyed with the premium starter pack, which is true, because if people don't speak out against it, you know, they think that that's okay.
So if that's a premium starter pack, then what are all the pre-order bonus missions and weapon packs I got then?
That was just, you know, like a thank you for pre-ordering. The premium starter pack is supposed to be like something that they throw out there, like, you know, like, oh, you want to get ahead of the game? Here it is. This is how you get ahead.
But Assassin's Creed Valhalla is not Destiny.
Right.
You know, you don't need... Like with Destiny, you can buy a season starter pack that comes with an emote, a sparrow, comes with some silver, comes with a few bits and bobs. But they're letting you play the game for free. You download Destiny, you play it for free. You have all your free content, access to the Crucible, access to the Strikes, access to the Cosmodrome missions at the beginning. Last year you had access to all of Year 1. You had access to the Red War campaign, Percival Osiris, Warmind, everything in between. Right? That's a lot of game for free. And when that comes to Destiny, you're talking all the raids as well. That's hundreds of hours of free content. Now they have a starter pack which gives you silver and emotes and all these really cool things. But that's justified if you can get 100+ hours out of a game for free before you even have to consider buying an expansion. Ubisoft is not in that situation. They're making you spend £95 for the Ultimate Edition of their game. They're throwing in a bunch of free stuff. They're clearly tapping XP progression and silver progression, because silver does take, or at least up until now, has been taking ages to collect unless you know how to farm it.
Right.
And they're now giving a bloody starter pack. Right, okay, that's fine. Ubisoft, do you want to give a starter pack? Make 50%, make the first half of the game free to play. The game's in chapters anyway.
Well fought.
But how?
Give them the first 2 free chapters for free, allow them to be able to complete side stuff, but after, say, chapter 3 or 4, don't allow them to progress in the story unless they drop 40 quid. Because you're wanting them to buy a bullshit starter pack that costs half the price of the game. So let them play the first half for free.
I mean, that would make sense, but you know what? That's not what they want. They want to squeeze as much cash out of you as possible. We are just a means of cash. Now look, AFK even said that item there, you buy that premium starter pack, you're getting not just the thing again, you're getting the Berserker pack again, which we already got. Plus, you could spend however many coins to get the damn thing again.
It is Rolf.
Yeah, the Berserker pack. That's the one with the bear on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the one I got for pre-order.
It was the first time Styrbjörn let us raid so far from home. And Sigurd,
why would you need it again? You know, they're just really screwing this up. They're really screwing this up.
Either that or pre-order numbers were bad.
I don't know. But they're doing a lot of right now. Right now, what they're doing is a lot of people are losing faith. Do you know how many people I look at? All of my comments, I get emails, I get messages, DMs, and everything. Do you know how many people tell me that they're done with Ubisoft, that they can't stand it, that they don't understand why they're doing all this, that they'll never buy another Ubisoft game again, Assassin's Creed or otherwise?
There is no comparing. You are building
well,
some
here's the thing though, do you not feel like Ubisoft's very Nintendo-fied?
Good talk or bad?
I don't know. How so? How do you feel that they're like that?
Well, look at Nintendo. Nintendo has its big hitters, Mario All-Stars, the Mario games, and like the Zelda games and stuff like that. Look at the sort of company that Ubisoft is, right? Same as any other company, they have their big hitters. They have Assassin's Creed, they have Rainbow Six. They've got that new Gods and Monsters game which they launched, which apparently, do you know what I have to say? Gods and Monsters actually looks quite good.
Really?
It does look quite good. I've heard a lot of positive things about it. And to be honest with you, I'm not actually surprised because it was made by the Odyssey team. The Odyssey team made an extremely good game. One of the best games I've ever played. But they did a shit story. And by the looks of it, Gods and Monsters is like everything they learned, but in the actual like, it's almost as if it's the story they wanted to tell with Odyssey, but weren't allowed to do, sort of thing. It's like the game they actually wanted to make. And like everything they did with Odyssey was like training to get them ready for the game they wanted to make.
Possibly.
So I am tempted to pick that one up. The only downside to it is I don't know if it has a store. I haven't looked at it. I haven't looked heavily into XP progression and stuff like that. And the one thing that does scare me is because it is Ubisoft. And everything that Ubisoft seems to put out has a store with a value of up to at least £1,000+ worth of crap by the end of the game's life cycle. So if you want to get the fullest out of Assassin's Creed, you either have to no-life it, you are an exception to the rule, you are a YouTube channel, you know, you make your content on this, so it's what you do. But people like me, who might not want to go around the map and pick up all 7,000 bits at Orichalcum, are never going to get everything. You're going to get everything because you play the game, you make content on the game, you want to bring that content to your audience. And you have a love for the game.
And not just that, this is a big thing that I keep telling people, especially people that criticize when I put out the glitches that kind of like are shortcuts, you know, like so you could level up quicker and everything like that. People always get mad. Oh, well, why would you do that? Why would you show people? You know what? Because unlike me, a lot of people don't have the time. Yeah. A lot of people do not have that kind of time.
I used your teabagging glitch in Odyssey. I hell going to sit there and grind out every mastery point. No chance. Like, Odyssey had, what, 900+? Like, I don't know, 30, 40 different things you could spend it on. Each one had 20 different bloody levels. Then there was the different, your assassin, your warrior, like, no chance. But if I can get all those mastery points by knocking out a captain, dropping them behind a flipping building and teabagging them for 6 hours, and that's going to get me what would normally take maybe 2,000 to 3,000 hours worth of my time to do.
Right.
Then I'm sorry, but yes, that's what I'm going to do.
Well, now, here's the other thing. Like, what about, you know, like all these Opal missions? Like, I feel that, like, Sargon, as crappy as he was, especially now with only dropping ship parts, I feel like that's a better value than we get with Retta. Retta, we get 2 missions per day. Each one drops 5 Opals. And you can't really get anything. You have to really, like, save your stuff.
Well, I can tell you now, I've not played in 4 weeks. I got to that point, I burned myself out, I played 115 hours in total, I did it over the space of a week. I thought, I need to play it, let's just do it, let's enjoy it, and maybe that's my own fault, maybe I did burn myself out. The problem is, I did the same thing with Origins, I did the same thing with Odyssey. I can play Assassin's Creed 2 until I'm blue in the face 7 times a bloody week, easily. But this game puts me to fucking sleep.
I am lost and honor bound.
Yeah,
I can't explain it. This game puts me to sleep.
It's not as exciting as it should have been. It really isn't.
The male Avar, he's got a cool voice. I love the rustiness of his voice when he talks, but he's such a dull bugger. Like, even when there's emotional scenes with him, there's like no emotion. It's just like his voice, like, I'm sorry, you know? The female Avar sounds like she smokes about 100 a day. And after a while, the voice just starts grating on you. Because it's like nobody talks like that, man. Like nobody, even somebody from Iceland or Norway or... Well, I suppose unless you look at Joe Raptor, in which case that'd be a really crazy sounding Viking. But, you know, it's like nobody talks like that, man. Even if you watch the Viking TV shows or the trailers for it, they don't have like women that sound like they're smoking 100 a day.
Nope. Yeah, here's AFK again. He's saying that, what do you call it? He played Odyssey for 537 hours, and he could say that he doesn't regret it. Valhalla doesn't have the same effect. It really doesn't.
Yep. I do not regret my hours in Odyssey. I showed Strider my total playtime a while back, and do you know what? I believe I'm actually on par with AFK. I believe I'm in the 500-600 hour mark. I got 100 hours into Valhalla. I got 60% of the way through the story. According to Ubisoft Connect, I'm 60% completion. And I have no drive whatsoever to finish that game. And I'll be honest with you, I went and watched YouTube videos to see the end of the game. And the end of the game's like, it just came across as boring.
I completed the game on my first save. I haven't completed Jotunheim. That's the only thing that I have left to complete.
Well, like I said, there's a couple of things in Jotunheim that are like, oh, now, yeah, that's a cool reference. But they're only references. It's only for literally 2.5 seconds. You get a bit at the end where you're like, right, it's plainly obvious who you're talking about. It's plainly obvious who you are, let alone who you're talking about. And that's it. Like, I don't understand the mythical stuff. They could have taken that out of the game completely, and I doubt it would have been missed, because I found it a tedious 8 to 9 hour, each episode. And then when you finish the second episode, just to find out you've got another 45 minutes running about in Asgard. It's like, we don't need mythical in Assassin's Creed games, man. We don't need mythical. There's no place for it. The assassins were not bloody men from other planets who were flying about and beating the hell out of gods. They were normal men who had a duty. They had a creed to follow. And that's all they did. They followed their creed. They did what they believed to be right. Now you can look at the Templars and look at their creed, their order. And it's not so different than the assassins, but the outcome and the way they go about them is different. But none of them were fighting Zeus, none of them were fighting Cyclopses, none of them were fighting fucking Egyptian gods, although at least Origins had a good way of putting it, animus glitches and stuff, so that's acceptable, in my opinion.
Well, you know what they were supposed to be, those gods. That was supposed to be the Juno fights. If you look at the old preliminaries of the game, it didn't say, like it was like it did say Animus Glitch, but it didn't say that you were going to go and fight Anubis or whatever. You were supposed to fight Juno.
So wait a minute, Eivor wants to understand Isu by seeing them as Norse gods. Right, that's fair enough. The same with Odyssey. Not really. Cassandra never saw them as gods. Cassandra saw them as Isu. She saw them for who they were. Either that or I'm getting that statement wrong.
I don't know. The whole story right now is going to be getting convoluted because they're doing all kinds of like weird stuff now, as far as like the gods go and what's going on with them and stuff. It's getting kind of crazy.
Yeah, they need to do a hard stop. I think they need a hard full stop. They need to take a couple of years off, like, and just ground the series again, because it's getting ridiculous.
It's kind of like crazy. Like I kind of feel like this game is gonna be how they explain a hard reboot. I have a feeling that they're gonna reboot the series. We're gonna see the series start from the very first game again, and that they're gonna.
So do you think maybe that, like, the theory that I threw at you a while ago about them remaking Assassin's Creed 1 in the vein of the Odyssey engine essentially, and then taking the Ezio trilogy and remaking that into one big game and like the Odyssey engine? Do you think that's maybe the route they're going to take? Do you think it is a hard reset for them?
I kind of feel like that is the route that they're going to go, because where do you go from this and the ending? I'm not going to spoil the ending for anybody, but the ending of the game kind of makes for like the possibility of recreating the entire timeline. So it might be like they're, gonna, basically reset it. Like they're gonna do the game. They're gonna bring you back to Altair. It's gonna be the same game, but there's gonna be some alterations, and they're gonna explain that the alterations were made because of the ending of Valhalla here.
So I'm going to ask one thing then. If this is a hard reboot and reset...
Anthony Beale has a good point too. Go ahead. What were you saying there?
And if we're going back to the beginning, can Ubisoft please finish telling the Desmond story the way that Nolan North described it and how it was going to go? That would have been fucking perfect. But for some godforsaken reason, they decided that he just had to die. But yet there was this whole arc about how Desmond would be able to essentially use the bleeding effect without the use of an animus, be able to sit down on a chair and just drop himself into a situation when he needed to be.
When the new director took over, I don't think he knew what the hell to do. So he just wanted to erase it. I think that was the problem. Honestly, I'll say it to this day, Desmond should have never died. He should have never died because he was Assassin's Creed. Okay.
Well, he was the assassin we were meant to become. We were experiencing what was going on through him so that we could ultimately become him in whether it be the very last game, whether it just be like what they did in Assassin's Creed 3 where you had your mission going after Cross, you had your, you're going after your batteries essentially. Like, finish that bloody story, because we went through all of that with Desmond just for him to put his hand on a bauble and die. Sorry for the Jacob Fry term, but he put his hand on a bauble and died.
God, that was pretty much it.
Assassin's Creed died with Desmond, and that's what's frustrating. How could Ubisoft be so goddamn stupid and going, it's Desmond Miles, he's associated with Ezio and Altair, and to a point Edward Kenway, because I do believe Kenway is still Desmond's bloodline.
He is.
Because of Connor, obviously. Why didn't they finish the story? Like, this has baffled me for years.
I think that they wouldn't have known what to do with him, honestly. Like, it was like that kind of like thing.
Make him an assassin. Jesus, the bleeding effect was clearly working. So have him in the present day take down the current day Templars, or at that point you take the past and the present and you interweave them. Like, see how the Templars were looking like through Desmond's memories to find out what they wanted. Capture Warren Vidic instead of Desmond killing him. Why didn't he take him captive?
I don't know. I think Assassin's Creed 3 was really weird.
Stick Warren Vidic in the Animus, take his DNA, find out what he knows.
That actually would have been good. I kind of get it. I get that, how many stories could you really go into with one person? How many stories could you possibly go into with Desmond? You know what I'm saying? How many did they do with James Bond? Yeah, but James Bond is different. He's a spy, so he could always be on a mission. But how many ancestors really? At the beginning of James Bond's journey, sorry, he was a Scottish man playing an Englishman. Right. So weirder shit has happened. But they could have done something like that with Desmond, as long as, see if they had, like, Darby McDevitt, right, who wrote the originals, clearly gets it. You can see in his writing with Valhalla, especially when it comes to the assassins and the assassin strongholds that you search through. The man clearly knows what he wrote in the past. So let's go back to that, man. Let's go back to that. We don't need these open worlds that take 300, 400 hours to fully explore. Give us a nice world, the right size for the story, like Ghost of Tsushima. Good sized world, fits the story perfectly, every area is used, every environment's used, none of it goes to waste. By the way, the assassinations are better in Ghost of Tsushima. They really are. Oh my god, they are. I don't know, hopefully Ubisoft looks at what Ghost of Tsushima did, I suppose, to a point and goes, right, okay, that's what we need to do, but then again, it's going to be one of those ones where, Ubisoft just copied another developer. Do you know what I mean? See, look, a Cantor, he just said that he started Assassin's Creed Valhalla yesterday, and he doesn't feel a connection to Ivor.
Here, do you know what? Do you know what's in Assassin's Creed's best interest? Ubisoft, take Assassin's Creed. Go to Sucker Punch, and go, we want to give you the license to this game for one game.
Ooh.
You have creative freedom. You can create what you want. It must land within the lore, no exceptions. The lore that's written, it must land. Do your shit, you've got 3 years. And then after 3 years, you've got a year to polish and a year to market. If Sony can give Sucker Punch 6+ years to create Ghost of Tsushima, then Ubisoft can let Assassin's Creed take a break and let somebody take a fresh crack at it. Because their own developers clearly have fatigue and they have forgot what they're writing. And they have forgot what Assassin's Creed actually means.
Yeah, they're slipping. See, Anthony Beale says that he thinks they're going to bring the modern day to the story. He thinks that's why they let Loki get out of the gray. So maybe that's what they're going to do. They're going to, rather than have it in the past, it's going to be present day?
I think it will be Desmond's father. What do you mean by that? Modern day is why I think Loki got out of the grey. I think it will be. Do you mean Loki will be Desmond's father, or?
No, I think he didn't finish his thought there.
Yeah, I was about to say, because we know who Desmond's father is, William Miles. And if Loki was William Miles, you'd clearly know that.
No, I think he meant. I think he didn't finish his thought. Like Desmond's father is, I don't know, gonna do something there, because I know he's desperate to meet William Miles, and we don't know why. So I mean, that does open it up.
Well, William Miles is the head of the Order at present.
Right.
I know somebody else took over for him for a time between 3 and Origins, but I believe in Origins he was again, top of the temple. Although, do you know the one thing? It makes me wonder if William Miles' wife is Eve. Because we've never seen her. We don't know her name. Desmond's brought her up. Williams avoided the question completely. Where is Eve? Because we know Eve led the rebellion. We know Eve is still alive. Is it possible Desmond was the child of Eve? So I ask then, is it possible William Miles is Adam?
I don't know. I mean, how do they age? Do they age? He aged.
Yeah. I don't know how that would work.
There's so many questions, there's so many avenues that they could explore, and for some reason they're not exploring it.
Yeah, they need to explore Eve, because as far as I'm aware, Eve is still alive. She is out there somewhere.
Let me ask you a question then. Would you rather see a present day Assassin's game, or would you rather see an Isu game?
Oh God, do I want them to do what Sean said all those years ago and put Desmond in the Animus and just dial that clock all the way back? Oh hell yeah. Oh hell yeah. I want to see that rebellion. I want to see Adam and Eve steal that apple. I want to see it all. And I want to see Desmond in the Animus reliving all of it.
That would be some wild stuff.
I want that game more than I want the game they're probably making next.
Probably. I feel like they really do need to go to the past. They do need to go back and kind of like see what else there is to see back there.
See, we saw it technically with Cassandra, but what we saw was a simulation with Cassandra. It wasn't the actual time, present day with technology, hidden its hack.
Watch Dogs.
He's got a point. I mean, let's be honest with you. They did tie those worlds together. I mean, that Garneau from Black Flag, is it not Aiden that kills him in the first Watch Dogs on the street, because by the time you get to the end of Black Flag, he's dead. And I believe there's a reference in the files in Assassin's Creed, and I believe in Watch Dogs it's an actual playable mission.
Yeah, Watch Dogs, it actually does tell you have to go and kill...
So maybe Watch Dogs is their version of the current day Assassin's Creed. Maybe that's why we've never had one. Maybe they just don't know how to make it work. How do you make the hidden blade work against a submachine gun in an RPG?
That's true.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Oh, I did that video a long time ago where I tied Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed, and even Far Cry together.
Wow.
Or even Far Cry, because I said, you know, is it possible that the girl from Far Cry 5, that she is able to control people's minds with the apple? And when I looked into it, the actual plants that they use in the game that she gets them high with, that's an actual plant. It's actually called the Devil's Breath. It's actually like an actual plant, and it actually has that effect.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was like, holy crap.
So then this raises the question then, if Ubisoft's trying to make all these worlds connect, whether it be Watch Dogs or, you know, even Rainbow Six, because I believe the first thing anybody got for Vikings for Valhalla was a picture in a Rainbow Six Siege map with a Viking holding an Apple of Eden. And the developer did come out and say, actually, that had nothing to do with Assassin's Creed, that was just something we put in there, which... Bit suspect, considering it was a Viking holding an Apple of Eden and the next game was Valhalla.
Right.
But if they're trying to make all these worlds connect in the background, that could be the problem that they have, the problem that they're facing, is in trying to make all these worlds connect in some way, all these worlds then lose their originality because they're all connected in some way. So that would mean, you know, during Assassin's Creed 3 when Desmond was down there doing what he had to do, somebody in Far Cry was away doing this, and somebody in, you know, Raven Rabbids was away doing something else. And it's like, how do you make your worlds unique and feel different if you're trying to connect modern days together so it all feels like these games happen in the same world?
That's a good point. That is a good point. But at the same time, I kind of feel like that's kind of like what they're doing. And honestly, if you think about it,
well, of course it does. Ezio used it many times. You know, one of the best moments of Brotherhood is Ezio controlling that apple at the gates of Rome.
Yep.
You know.
One of the things though that
AFK, all I can say to that is goodbye, Yves Guillemot.
No, you know what I could see though. What throws the theory off of them all being connected is Far Cry 5's ending with the nukes going off.
Right.
That throws it off. That throws off the whole theory that they're all connected.
So at some point they realised that then maybe it's not going to work. So it's maybe Easter egg missions and stuff they put into just other games.
But
it still connects Watch Dogs to Brotherhood.
Right, but it also you know what would connect all those worlds again? What would make sense? If the next Assassin's Creed game is a reset.
Then all the nukes went off.
Yeah, then all the nukes went off, even though, like, you know, like
So what game is going to explain? So why did the nukes go off in Far Cry? What was the reason behind it?
It was like a whole thing with that cult, like Seed. He actually launched that nuke. That was his thing. He launched the nuke. And because he launched the nuke, all the other places launched their nukes. But now, let's say that happens. Let's say, like, after the events of Valhalla, the events, the present day events go off. And then these guys are like, oh crap, you know, the world ended anyway. it's up to what's going on in the Animus for them to be able to reset the world, get the message out, reset certain things, and basically you could reset like every game.
See, I don't know if I want them to reset Ezio though. Altair, maybe not so much of an issue, but
yeah, you could destroy barricades with the bow as long as you have that that explosive shot that I showed you with the door opening glitch.
yeah.
No, I don't think that they're Templars launching nukes. I think that, you know, like they could have been just like some crazy cult. Maybe even Abstergo was like trying to like infiltrate them to figure out what the hell they're doing.
Maybe it was, I don't know, a last-ditch attempt of the Order of Ancients to rise.
It could have been.
I mean, we know the Order of Ancients and Templars had the same ideals, but their views in the world were very different.
Yep.
You know, the Order of Ancients wanted to control. Abstergo, in a sense, still wants to control, but they want it for what is 2020 means and what every company in the world wants. They want wealth, money, power. Not necessarily to control the world, but they want to be able to subdue and control public opinion, which is what every politician wants to do.
Yep.
You know, and the Order of Ancients literally wanted to control. They didn't want to do it through politics. They wanted to physically be there, you know, the gangs of their headquarters, the leaders of their armies.
Mm. Yeah, that's my boy Matt Pat. Love that kid. Game theory.
Ubisoft Connect, man, Jesus.
You know what though, AFK, I'm telling you, like whenever you have.
No, they do, but that's the point. And that's the point, AFK. Is that you need to understand the Assassins, the Templars, the Assassins, the Order of Ancients, you know, or the Hidden Ones as we call them now, because of Bayek and his wife. You need to understand that their ideals are all the same. They all are striving, I suppose, in a sense, for the same thing. But the outcome is different because of the way they're striving to get that. Like the Templars want to do it through control, through pushing you down that road, making sure that's the road you go down, as where the Assassins want you to maintain your free will. Ultimately still coming out at the same end, but they want to do it where they're not suppressing you, they're not making you do it, they're not forcing you to do it, as where the Templars are they're going to force you to do it. You're going to do it their way, but ultimately the ends are still going to be the same. This is why Desmond said, and I believe, was it Sean or Rebecca said to Desmond, you know, have you ever thought about reaching out to the Templars? You know, we have, the angle here is exactly the same. And Desmond said, yeah, you know, I've wondered, you know, can a truth ever be made? And then William just laughs and goes, no, we've been fighting like this for millennia, you know? Nothing's ever changed, we've never made friends, we've never this or that, and then Desmond dies and it goes nowhere.
Yeah, that was just garbage. What's up, Jason? He finished the Asgard arc. How did you like it? It's like a lot of crazy stuff going on, man. But the thing is that, you know what, at its core, it's good writing. It's a good idea. If you're not compelled, if you don't think that, like, even the bad guys may have, like, a great idea or that they might be right, if you don't second guess yourself, you're totally missing the point of the game. Like, that's the whole point of the game. The two of them, they're opposite sides of a coin. They just, one just wants to force you, the other one wants you to, like, make the choice.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, that's the point Desmond made. It's like, look, the world is going to come to an end in 2012, and, you know, the Assassins and Templars are squabbling and arguing like children. It's like the world is going to end for, like, both sides here, not just one side. Although there was only one death in a fit of madness from the writer. It literally just is what it is. Assassin's Creed it's become an enigma, I believe is the best way to put it. Origins was fantastic. It was an absolute reset. It was a proper origin story. And then Odyssey came out and was just the best RPG I think I've ever played in my life. Now people are going to go, oh, World of Warcraft, more. I never played it. I've never played it, which means I have no clue about it.
Well,
but as an RPG in a single-player game, Odyssey was damn good.
My thing is that I actually loved the single-player game, honestly. I did love the single-player RPG. Yeah. I get so mad on you know, like the MMOs because you rely on other people. I like to play like by myself sometimes, you know. I don't like to rely on other people. I don't like you know, like I have to like be at a certain time of day, you know, like in a certain area to like help you out and stuff like that. You know, I'll help you out, but you know, like I don't want it to feel like, you know, like I'm forced to, you know.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. Well, I don't know. I do wonder what their plan is next. Is it a hard reboot, or are we continuing the story in some other way? I mean, are we aware? Do we know that the team making the next one?
I don't think we have those details yet so far. Like, we don't know what's going on.
I wouldn't imagine it's the Odyssey team, because they've just done Gods and Monsters and they're in the launch and pre-patch stage and stuff for the game. So I wouldn't imagine it's them.
I don't know. I would think that it would be, because they usually alternate. They usually go on and off with their when they're doing these things.
Yeah, I know, but if you also watch the credit scenes, which I know you do, because I do, there's always 6 or 7 different studios that work for Ubisoft working on one Assassin's Creed game, but you have that main studio who takes the helm. Like Ubisoft Anarchy, Ubisoft Bucharest, like there's always all these, you know, like smaller divisions that are kicking in and helping out with the main studio, whether it be small maps, different maps, because I understand the Jotunheim and the Asgard stuff was done from a completely different studio, or at least I believe it was done by a completely different studio to what the team that actually made the main Valhalla game. That's why it has such a different feel. Like, they use the same engine, but it has like a completely different atmosphere, feeling, all of it.
This has the feel of something more personal.
It's possible.
Yeah, its story is extremely slow. That's why I'm bored with it and stopped playing after 100 hours. I'm 60% through the actual game itself, like I said, according to Connect, but I can't bring myself to finish it. Combat's extremely slow. Odyssey's combat was absolutely on point. It was quick, it was fast, it had ridiculous power moves which made absolutely no sense, but after you played 30 or 40 hours you didn't care because it was fun. And if you're still complaining about Odyssey's combat to this day, and you think this game's combat is good, then seek out medical help. You clearly have issues.
Yeah, this combat really is not the best.
It's janky as hell.
Yeah.
And the
see, AFK brings a good point.
Ruins it.
Yeah, the stamina system I do not like. AFK says that in Valhalla, not only is the combat, but everything is slow, including the story.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I do too. Like, I usually stay and listen to like every piece of dialogue. I skip through a lot of it. Odyssey had a lot of humor in it, honestly.
Odyssey did. I mean, come on, you've got, like, when you first load up Odyssey, and you play through that first 3 hours, you're essentially talking to a pedophile. Like, it makes you go through the first 3 hours of that game working for a pedophile. At least that's how he comes across. I'm not saying that's who he was, like, as a character. But that's the first time he goes, I do something for you, you do few things for me, you just think, you sick fuck.
Well, yep.
So, I mean, it's like, but it was funny humour, because you knew that's not what was meant. It was just because he was a complete imbecile. And he proves that with the wine farm, and then he proves that later on in the game when you come across him with the other wine farm.
So I will claim the bounty. You may take what you wish from its carcass.
But, yeah, man, but Odyssey is funny. It had humorous moments.
It really did. It had a lot of humorous moments. It had a lot of like fun. It had a lot of excitement. You know, like I understand. You know, like you become a god. You're like diving from like, you know, like a high fall and stuff. That's kind of crazy, but you know, it was still good. The only thing that I did not like The thing that bothered me was the lore. That was it.
Yeah.
The lore was the
Especially-
only thing that got me mad.
Especially with Darius. And the eagle jump.
Yeah.
You know, the leap of faith. Like, just why was that there? You literally turned around to us in Origins and said, the leap of faith comes from Bayek's father teaching it to Bayek so that he would overcome his fear, which is the reason why Bayek tried to get his son to do it.
Right.
Right? So you laid that foundation. And then we go, God knows how many years into the past, and there's Darius, who's dressed like an assassin, looks like an assassin, walks like an assassin, and leaps like an assassin. But yet he's not meant to be an assassin.
Exactly. I think that, yeah, when it came to lore, like, this team that did Odyssey, they messed up the lore, but they did have the better game as far as, like, combat, engravings, weapons, armor. I get
And
that
the
for a
weird
lot
thing
of
is-
people it made no sense to have, you know, like, Legendary be not as good as Epic. I get that, but still, I still feel like it had the better system.
It did, you know, just the armor system alone just destroys this game.
You know what I hated? What I hate
I
in
actually
Valhalla.
found the Atlantis DLC quite boring, considering it took me about 25 to 30 hours before I even got to Atlantis. Why call it Fate of Atlantis when you're only actually going to get 12 hours in Atlantis? And that's the only thing that bugged me about that DLC was, it's called Fate of Atlantis, but you don't go to Atlantis till the final episode, so yeah, you've literally got to play through 30 to 40 hours of DLC just to get to Atlantis.
The thing that annoyed me about that is that at the end of Assassin's Creed 3, they give us the fate of Atlantis, and what we got in Odyssey was totally different than what we saw.
Yeah.
I was expecting an ending similar to the Assassin's Creed 3, the way that they did it, but it just it didn't come out. You know what I find absolutely useless in Valhalla though? Have you gotten the Bayek outfit? Have you gotten the Legacy outfit?
Honestly, I know it went up again for grabs about a week, 2 weeks ago, but I just didn't bother me. I'm not interested.
You are not missing anything.
I'm not going to play the game enough to even use it, because I'll be honest, I'll wake up one day, I'll stick it on, I'll maybe run through the last of the story because I'm in the mood to play it, and then that's going to be it for me. I own the DLC and the season pass for this, but I don't even know if I'm going to be finished the story by the time that comes out.
I thought that the Bayek outfit, you can't even upgrade it. It stays at superior.
So is that what the legacy outfits are going to be when they finally launch then?
I hope not.
Is that a fucking view of things to come where your legacy outfits do nothing?
It's only a torso. It's only a torso. You can only put it on your chest. There's no... I thought it would be like pieces, the way they did the Ezio outfit. Nothing like that.
So was this a last minute shit, we need to get this in the game because people complained about legacy outfits in Odyssey?
I have no idea, but you know what? If this is the way you're going to do legacy outfits, don't bother. Don't bother.
Yeah. It's not adding anything to the game really, is it?
No. All it does is it gives you the look of Bayek. That's it.
Right. So well, that's fine. I don't feel so bad now, because I'll be honest with you, I knew it went up about a week, 2 weeks ago. There was a website you could go to like redeem it and stuff like that, but I just couldn't bloody bother to.
Yeah, it's like nuts, and you know, like as far as the
only like a Cantor says, the only loot you get from this game is in a chest. Like there's no world drops at all. Like, so if you take out like a proper beast, like if you have a proper beastly fight with about 20 people, and you almost die multiple times because you're under-leveled, there's nothing to be excited about at the end of that fight. Absolutely nothing, because nothing's going to drop but silver and arrows. If you're lucky.
You can only, what do you call it? Not just that, but like you could use any weapon and it really doesn't affect the outcome. It doesn't affect your strength. Same with your gear. Even without glitching, like no matter what you do, the game is not affected. Somebody commented on one of my videos that he has over 15,000 pieces of silver. And the reason he has that is because he hasn't upgraded anything. He's had no interest in upgrading anything at all.
Yeah,
he just doesn't care. Yeah, he just doesn't care. Like he has the same outfit and weapons that he likes, that he kept, and he's just gonna he finished the game like that. And you can do that. There's nothing to alter that for you. There's no, like there is no like 10 million XP with one shot or anything like that. And now,
what I think they could have done with the armor in this game is even if they weren't going to go perks, what they could have done is, like, if you're wearing this full set of armor, each time you do a raid, the difficulty is up by 60%, but you get a 20% extra payout.
Yeah, they could have done something like that. That I wouldn't have minded anything like that.
There's a challenge straight away for extra reward, because you now know you're not going to be able to go in there, and if you're playing on Nightmare difficulty and you know you're getting a 60% increase in difficulty on top of Nightmare, like, you're going to feel rewarded, especially if they drop something like 20,000 silver on your bloody lap at the end of it and 20 opals. Even if it's just a once a week thing. Here's like an ultimate raid that you have to complete. Difficulties increased, rewards are increased, enemies are increased, the rate of reactions increased, or whatever they need to do to make it challenging. But give the hardcore who are going after builds, they need an armor set that works for them.
Yeah,
because increasing difficulty just is as much as good as that sounds. Increase the difficulty and give out rewards. All you're doing is increasing the difficulty. You're not giving player access to stats, to masterworks, to anything to make that 60% go smoother. All they're getting is the 60% increase. They don't have that extra bit on the armor that goes, you slap this guy and you get like spot on headshot. Every headshot for 10 seconds after that's going to deal 200% damage. That's what you want if your difficulty is going up 60%. You want those stats on your armor. I don't know. This game is an absolute baffle. And his controller died, people.
Adolfo was saying that he beat the game, but he said that he beat the game, but he can't continue. The Daughters of Lyrian quest is glitched. Everything in this game is glitched.
Yeah. See, I didn't even fight them. I just did the invincibility cheat, mate, ran to all three of them and just got them out of the way that way.
Yeah, but like some people can't even go and you know how like you go to the corpse and you kind of like you investigate it, and then that's when the daughter comes out. Right now, people can't even do that. People can't. There are certain parts. On my other file, I'm stuck where I can't get to like a certain the merchant. He won't leave the building. He's glitched.
Well, the last time I played it properly about 4 weeks ago, I believe I told you this. Like, I'm doing that mission where you go. I think it's like your blacksmith's away trying to find a wife.
Right.
He like his marker's on the map, but he's not there. Like, I loaded up yesterday and then just went straight to the homestead, and then the game hard crashed when it was loading all the snow in. So I didn't bother with that. So I mean, I don't even know if they fixed that yet.
Yeah, no, they didn't fix anything.
The game hard crashed straight away, so I just didn't bother.
The only thing that they keep fixing is anything that gives the player an advantage. They're fixing all the glitches. They're fixing. I mean, we just found, like the invincibility glitch still works. It just had to be done another way.
Bloody hell! So they're not even fixing things properly. They're just doing workarounds until it's found again.
Yeah, what they're trying to do is they're trying to like screw us out of everything, because of course they want to sell you that XP and silver
that sucks,
booster.
AFK. That sucks completely.
They don't restock?
I haven't had that one, but that one must suck.
Have you tried leveling up? Like, they usually restock after a level up.
They changed that house you were in.
Oh my God! They put a wood door there at that house because he could. You know what? I think you're right because I remember that house and I don't remember that wooden door. That was the first house that like I really got stuck at. I was like looking for it, and then I remember later on I figured it out. Oh look, the Elk of Bloody Peaks. Look, he's having a seizure. I love this. Look at this.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what happens with the invincibility glitch. He's just gonna keep doing that.
That's crazy, man. Like, that just shows you how broken this fucking game is, man. Like, for all the problems, like, Odyssey had with its frame rate drops and stuff, I like...
I'm telling you.
Level 6, tons of silver, can't buy iron or ignots. I don't think you can buy that at level 6.
Yeah, you could buy iron, tungsten ingots, and once you hit your what do you call it? The settlement.
Really?
Once it's level 6. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that'll be why then, because my settlement's not level 6. I thought you meant character level.
Oh no! Yeah, the settlement you could, and then you could also buy a scroll.
Like level 5 or something.
You could also buy a scroll that gives you like an extra level.
Yeah, they did that with Origins, did they not? At the Assassin Bureau, when you completed the game, you could go take money in and buy a scroll that would give you a mastery point.
Yeah, well, it would give you experience points, and if you got enough of them, you obviously got a mastery point. But what they're doing now, though, what's like really messed up, is that they changed that. Now, like, it used to be that you could get like 5 of those scrolls, and now you could only get 1.
Wow. Talk about, they are capping the player more than anything else, aren't they?
Yeah. They don't care about the player. They will do anything they can to cut you down so that way you spend the money. That's what they want. They want the money. They want you to go and pay the money for the XP and the silver boosters. They want you to buy all these extra like items and stuff like that. That's why Retta it only gives you like 10 opal a day, and then they're gonna put all kinds of other stuff up in the store and everything. So they're gonna tempt you. Hey, look, you get 2 different things, but you could only afford 1 for the week. So now you're stuck with just getting this 1 item. But if you want it, it's in the store for this much.
AA's got that issue you had, man, where it doesn't matter how far you run, you're still you have to be anonymous, but it won't reset it.
Yep. It's just there's a lot of stupid things that they did, and they won't fix it because they're too worried about SJW nonsense, and they're worried about making money. They're worried about their bottom line. They want to make that cash. They don't care about, you know, like what else is going on and stuff and what you're doing and whatnot. They want, we have all these glitches, they should have fixed it. That's why, like I was telling you before, I had asked this in the Discord, and I wanted to know, why is it that CD Projekt Red screwed up and we're up in arms about it, but Ubisoft screws up and we're not saying anything about it? What is that?
The problem is with Ubisoft, we expect it. We know it's going to happen.
Right,
CD Projekt Red, the players put CD Projekt Red, and this is no disrespect to gamers out there who were hyped for this game, but you put CD Projekt Red on such a pedestal.
That's true.
Pedestal that it was so unrealistic to think that they were going to deliver on the perfect game.
Well, nobody expects the game to be perfect.
Yeah, but people expected Cyberpunk to be the absolute messiah of games. Like, it was going to be the game of games, you know? That's
true.
You know, and like, that's partly the player's fault, but that's very much down to CD Projekt Red. And, you know, oh crap, 5 years of development, you know, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7, oh god, hype it. And now their investors are suing them. You know, and it's like, where's Ubisoft's investors here? Your player base is crying out and telling you have a broken game, and all you can do is fix the exploits that players find. But the exploits that players are finding are not the actual bugs. It's exploits that help them progress in the game because you built it so that people would go to your store again. The only difference is with Odyssey you were outright about it and put everything in the store day one, as where this time you thought you'd be fucking sly and do an Activision and put it in the store a month after the reviews were out. And now it's starting to be seen for what it is, and now we understand why you're patching every glitch that the player finds, but not bothering to fix your game. But you can push out a server-side patch, can't you?
Yep, they'll do what they can to like prevent the player from advancing, but they're not gonna like fix the game. I have on my other file.
AFK, very quickly. AFK stamina ruined this game for me. It completely breaks the combat. It makes the combat feel slow. When you're being attacked, you can't dodge because you've used too much stamina, which is essentially you allowing the game to have a cheap shot because you decided to do a special move. And the game's cheap shots take 3 times more health than your cheap shot do.
That's true too.
It's a frustrating game, and it's part of the reason why I can't finish it, man. I can't. And like I says, I've been playing a bit of Destiny 2, I've been playing a bit of bloody Cold War, and I have played through bloody Assassin's Creed 2, and I've played through a bit of Brotherhood. I also played through a bit of Jedi Fallen Order again.
Oh yeah, I started that again too.
all of them more enjoyable than this game. And that is, for me, the hardest thing, because I am an OG fan. Altair, Ezio, Connor, love him or hate him. Love him or hate him, that man has a stone jaw, and he has my respect. You know? But this is not Assassin's Creed.
No,
the story might be, but they've lost what made Assassin's Creed special, and they've done that by putting it into ridiculously sized open worlds and trying to give you hundreds of things to do, thousands of things to do. And because the world is that big, and because they give you that many side missions and that much to do, they're not focusing on the story, because they're having to focus on every other bit of the game.
They're not focusing on fixing the game either.
Yeah, as we're with, Assassin's Creed 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, and 3. I remember getting the game, getting a patch, and that was it. And the patch was because they were launching DLC. It was to get the game ready for DLC. It was never to fix anything. So why is it we're at a stage now where games are being launched like this? But if you go back to the Xbox 360 and PS3 era, look at a game the size of Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3. Where was the day 1 patch? Where was the day 2 patch, 3 patch, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, on and on and on and on? We get so many patches for games now that it's almost ridiculous.
This is true.
What happened to a company just making a game, actually quality assuring it? Because we are literally used as beta testers now. Cyberpunk proved that. When you buy a game day 1, you're a beta tester.
Pretty much.
You're not buying a complete product. What happened to those days of the Xbox 360 where you just bought the game, you didn't even have to install it, you could run it right off the disc. Just straight into the game. You buy it digitally, if you've got shit internet, you've got to wait hours. If you go to the shop and buy the game, you've got to spend all that travel time, pick the disc up, come home, and then install it. What happened to just getting the disc and playing it?
You know what? Those days are gone. But you know what? If they want to use us as beta testers, you know what? Take a select...
take a select amount of people. Put it out as an alpha. Say, you give us 30 quid of your money now. We'll give you a broken version of the game. If it bricks your system, it's on you because you're taking the risk.
Right.
But we'll finish the game with you. And when the game releases, because not only did you spend £30 and we beta tested it for you, what we'll do is we'll send you a fucking special edition of the game for fuck all.
There you go.
Like, it's not difficult.
What's up, James?
There's a reason why Steam has these pre-launch programs and stuff like that. You know, where like early access.
Right. Well, that's why, like, I got
faith in your game. Early access the fucking thing, because there is going to be a select amount of people out there that are not going to give a fuck if their console bricks. They're just going to be happy to play the fucking game 2 years early.
That's why, like, I don't understand. Like, whenever I put out like all these videos for all these glitches and all these like workarounds and all these exploits and everything, I always get those people that get upset. Oh, well, you know, I don't understand why anyone would want to do this. It takes the fun out of the game. Okay, it takes the fun out of the game, yeah, but you know, like, some people want to do it. And then somebody even got mad at me and said I should be reporting all these bugs and everything to Ubisoft. I am not your beta tester.
Hell no. Are they giving you a paycheck every month?
Exactly.
Absolutely not, man. Absolutely not. And do you know what? And if they have to go to YouTubers to find their glitches, then I'm sorry, but where's their quality assurance team? Because is that not what they're meant to do years before the game even comes out? When they play it in like early build, alpha, they're meant to find all the problems, all the bugs as they're making the game.
Is he walking?
Exactly. Pay me, you know, like, pay me if that's what you want.
Hell, they were to send you an alpha build of the next Assassin's Creed. I guarantee you would find, between you and the glitching community out there, Ubisoft would probably launch the best Assassin's Creed game ever. Maybe not in story and combat, but it would at least not have a fucking single bug in it.
See them coming.
I'm telling you, that would be crazy. Yeah, CAA, he doesn't even understand. It's a single-player game. It's a single-player game. Why do you care?
Exactly.
Why do you care what I'm doing in my game?
If I want to teabag someone for 6 hours, and this is my prerogative, if I want to teabag someone for 6 hours behind a fort, then that's on me as a single-player gamer. If my game is not multiplayer, and me teabagging someone isn't putting you in distress as a player, then fuck off.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything to you. It's not affecting your game. It's not messing with you.
It's a single-player game. I ranked up a bit quicker than you because I know a glitch. Get over it.
I was flying through
it's just it's crazy. I don't understand it. I don't argue with those people. I know there's like this Bill. He's usually the Bill Cipher, I think. Usually like attacks people. I've already warned him that I was gonna like kick him off if he keeps doing that stuff. But he'll like attack people that like start talking about that stuff.
You're tired when you get up, and the problem is still not solved.
I don't know. Yeah, if Ubisoft wants to know where all their glitches are, then go to a community that's actually willing to play the game before it comes out. Because clearly your own teams at Ubisoft cannot quality assure a game.
No, they can't, and it's not fair for us to be the quality testers. It's not.
Exactly. So do you know what? Early access your game.
What's up, Mr. Nibs? That's what they should have done.
Early access your games. If you think you don't have the team that's going to quality assure it, early access the game. You don't need to show us your DLC. You don't need to show us weapons and, you know, all this mad shit that you're going to add in later. Just give the team, or give the people playing it, the base game. Let them know it's pre-alpha, so it's real fucking early in its build. Like, it's going to break. It might break your console. It might fuck your graphics card. But you're taking that risk. You have a £30 buy-in, and if you play it for 2 years and you help us out, we'll send you the Ultimate Edition in the post with a few extra goodies as a thank you to you as part of the community and for working with us for 2 years for no pay.
Yeah, they could do that.
It's not difficult. I mean, at most you get what? Worst case scenario, the game gets hyped up because it's really good in pre-alpha build. In which case, you have hundreds of thousands of people buying into it straight away.
Yep.
But that's the price. That's going to be the price you pay to launch a good game, because there's inevitably millions of other gamers, or if, like Microsoft wants you to think, billions of gamers. Then, yeah, that's the price you pay to launch a good product. You have to meet that middle ground. But
I'm telling you,
it doesn't work.
Yeah, they really need to like test their quality and stuff like that. Now, what went wrong with the latest Call of Duty, why is it bricking consoles?
I don't know, because I have been playing Cold War now. I prestiged just yesterday for the first time on it. I played it over 4 days. I hit a double XP weekend, and then because it gave me like the first 20 levels of the battle pass because of the version I bought, I had a bunch of double XP tokens, so I used all them up. So I prestiged quite quickly. I haven't had any problems on the Pro. I've not had a single crash. I don't have like graphical pop-ins or issues. It can be a bit weird sometimes when I load into a map. Like, it'll be daytime, players will be running about, like stuff will load in, but it's almost as if I've loaded in too quickly. Because maybe the game has started. So I don't know what's going on with next-gen consoles. I don't own a PS5 yet, and I'm certainly not going to own an Xbox Series. Either of them.
Well, this is what I'm hearing though. Like I'm hearing that even on like the last gen consoles on PS4 on Xbox One, if you're playing Cold War actually it doesn't brick the console. Like on PS5 and Series S, it's bricking the console. But on PS4 and Xbox One, if you have an external hard drive, it's bricking the external hard drive.
Well, I have to say, I have Call of Duty Cold War installed on my 4 terabyte external hard drive, and I have not had one problem.
And you, not even a... I mean, how many times does it... How often does it crash?
It doesn't.
Really?
I have not had a single crash. I've got my white PS4 Pro with 1 terabyte. That has all my Sony games on it because it's a PlayStation. So if I ever take my hard drive out, I've got my God of War, my Last of Us, my Uncharted, like all the Sony games just on the console. Because my plan is when I get my PS5, just to put the console away, but with the Sony exclusives on it.
Right.
Right. So everything I own, and I own exactly 224 games at this present moment in time, and I have 157 installed. And my Cold War works just fine, mate. I've not had a problem with my external. I've not had a single crash. I don't get kicked out of games. I have no network issues. I have this, like I said, I have this really weird thing that I get when I'm doing Nuke Time 24/7. Where like it's almost as if you load in too quickly, and then all of a sudden it's like night time and everybody's running about in front of you. But when you're loading in, it's like people are just standing like stationary. It's almost as if like
what are these men hunting
their
for?
servers are catching up with my console.
Whoever finds it wins an
But that's
evening
about
of
it. But
my
I haven't had a single
Care to
crash
join them?
or nothing. I mean, there's Supreme. I had Cold War, worked fine.
Yeah, see what I'm...
Well, Modern Warfare downloaded in pieces, and that's for the player. Modern Warfare is like 225 gigabyte in size, and like if you play the campaign once and you're done and you're never going to play it again, you can delete that shit, and that's like 100 gig off your console because it's in pieces. That means you can keep multiplayer and Warzone like installed. So they've done it for a reason. It's the same with Cold War. So
That's
if you
pretty
don't
wild,
play
though.
if you don't play zombies, you never have to download it. You can just download multiplayer and single player.
Yeah, because that's the thing that like I'm hearing. I'm hearing that people and like what happens when your game crashes? You reset it, you put it back in, you go back in. You know what I'm saying? You go right back to the game, right back to the action. But some people are saying that in doing that, especially in cases where you have like multiple crashes and whatnot, what's going on is eventually it bricks your external hard drive, or it bricks your system in the case of the current gen consoles. So
Well,
it's kind of like weird.
I don't know. As of now, I have not had a single issue with that game. Not one. Like I says, I played the arse out of it over a week. I've just prestiged. I used all my double XP, double weapon XP tokens. I did the double XP weekend. I've now got this double XP for your battle pass at the moment. So I went from 4 days ago being like 0 on the battle pass all the way to 60. Like, so Call of Duty's not skimpy on its XP progression anymore.
Right.
Like, as long as you're playing the game, that battle pass is going to be a piece of piss. But I have had no problems, and I don't know how to pronounce your name, but yes, this year game companies are completely ruining their reputation.
They totally are. These things that they're doing are crazy. See, New Game Plus and Transmog are definitely necessary, especially for people who their games are broken.
Yeah.
Well, not all people who have a broken game. Only people who basically are at the end, like New Game Plus. For me, the only thing that is really going to save it, my first file, is if I have New Game Plus. I could, you know, like start over and find a thing. Otherwise, I play on this file and do the thing.
Well, there's Supreme again. No issues with Cold War and PS4. Same, man. I'm on Pro. I have an external hard drive. That's what it's installed on, along with Modern Warfare. I have no problems launching the game. I have no problems with the cross-launch screen where you go from Black Ops to Modern Warfare, or Black Ops to Warzone, or Modern Warfare to Black Ops. Like, the whole thing just runs fine for me. Like, no issues at all. So this is clearly a next-gen issue.
Most likely, because that's where I'm hearing most of the crashes are. The only thing I've heard on, you know, like the current gen is just the bricking of the hard drives. So I don't know. I should do like a survey and see what hard drives people have where it's bricking. Maybe it's a specific hard drive.
Can you help with issue, Darkstrike? What issue did you have with? On the second playthrough, I can't get it. See, this is the thing though, does Valhalla warrant a New Game Plus? Because at the moment, there's no reason to New Game Plus this game.
Halt in your search. A winner.
Well,
and
like,
my code
yeah, you could run through it with all your stats and your armor, but then,
the price for
other than the story, like, what are you going to do?
A walk in nature.
There's no like mastery things that you can earn for your armor, or at least we don't know yet if they're going to do something like that.
See. Lead on.
I have the Pro, was considering buying Valhalla whilst it's on sale. I have a 2 terabyte HDD. Well, Valhalla's not that big, man. Valhalla's only about 60-70 gigabyte.
Delicate.
So that's not going to take up a lot of a 2 terabyte hard drive.
Yeah.
Or counting your progress.
Like a knife.
Are you so in need of suitors that any passing woodsman or Vikinger will do?
I was married once. My Alfie
Fair
died
play.
5 winters
Yeah,
back.
I don't know. It's a weird scenario we're in this year with game companies and games and bugs and issues and.
Well, you know that honestly, the first half of the year was great. The second half of the year is not.
I mean, just look at the first half of the year. Final Fantasy VII Remake, fucking fantastic game. Resident Evil 3. And then we have Ghost of Tsushima, which should have won Game of the Year. It won People's Choice Award. Why is the main Game of the Year done by a committee of 90 people? Game of the Year should be player's choice. The critics should have their Game of the Year, not the player's choice should be Game of the Year. And that should have been Ghost of Tsushima.
Hold on, you know what just hit me? You know what just hit me? The games at the beginning of the year. Ghost of Tsushima, Sony exclusive.
Yeah.
Last of Us 2, Sony exclusive. Final Fantasy VII, Sony exclusive.
Yeah, oh, I know, man. And this is where Sony, I have to say, and MBG put it perfectly, Sony look like gods in the gaming industry compared to these other companies, mate. Like, they really do. You look at what these companies are putting out, and you look at what Sony puts out. Oh my days. These games are near perfect on launch.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't remember patches for any of those games.
None. The only reason why you're getting patches for Ghost of Tsushima at the moment is because of their Legends mode, because it's an online mode. Now, I haven't tried it yet. I just haven't got around to it, and maybe that's something me and you need to do on a night and get myself up. So one night we're doing a stream, we can play that at the same time.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, honestly.
So that's maybe something I do need to sort of get on. But like The Last of Us Part 2, as far as I'm aware, has had 1 patch since launch, maybe 2. I remember 1, and all it did was add New Game Plus and a bunch of shit.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, Why can Sony launch a game? Miles Morales, all they've done is improve on the game. They've not been doing bug fixes at all, from what I'm aware of. And that came out for PS5.
Miles Morales launched too, and there's no problems with that.
There's nothing with that. So why is it Sony can do this? Why is it Sony not only can smash out exclusive?
Yeah, her Black Wings even says that Final Fantasy VII Remake, it only had one small patch.
One small patch, and that came about 2 to 3 months after the game launched. So, what is going... You have to look at the gaming industry, you have to look at Sony, and you have to say to yourself, they've been doing this shit since the 1990s. Sony really has crafted their skill.
Yeah, but what is going on? Like, I refuse to believe that it's a conspiracy where only Sony games are coming out right. How is that possible? How is that possible?
Because Sony's doing it right. Sony understands the player. Think about it. The players complained about Cyberpunk. Sony stood with them, pulled it from the store, issued immediate refunds after they realised how bad the situation was. What did Microsoft do? Okay, we spent loads of money marketing this game. Yeah, we'll give you a refund if you want, but we're not going to take it off the store.
Yeah, you could keep making the mistake of buying it if it's broken.
You know, it's like, of course Microsoft's going to do that. They fucking marketed the game. The amount of money they have at stake, of course they're not going to pull it from the store. But they certainly did like, where's that warning when you go to Xbox Store though and you look at the buy page? Is there a warning? It goes, please be aware this game is still in a buggy state and will be fixed in the future. Of course there's not.
I just don't get it. I don't get how they first of all, I don't get how we didn't piece that together, how we didn't see that you know, like Sony produced all these games, and all these games are...
And they come out flawlessly. And let's just remember though, Final Fantasy Remake, it might be a Sony exclusive, but does that not run out? Is that not due to run out?
It's a timed exclusive.
It's a timed exclusive. So how's it going to launch on Xbox? Did Squaresoft have enough time?
Yeah, they got enough time where they're going to make sure that it's flawless.
Yeah,
if they don't even have it anywhere.
They spent so much time crafting the PS4 version, and let me tell you, on the PS4 Pro, it's a fucking stunning game. It's a stunning game on the PS4 Pro with the HDR and, you know, the upscaled 4K. It is gorgeous to look at. But they've only had a year to perfect the Xbox One version, the Xbox One X version, which is ultimately going to carry on to the Xbox Series S and X. So what you need to realise is Squaresoft's about to launch this game not on one console, but 4. And the year of COVID, will it launch the way it launched?
Wait, but PS4? Look. Her Black Wings actually just said it's that games as service model. They all release broken and get fixed later. Tell me that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. That does make sense. As we're Sony's primarily single player game, and this is where I worry. We know Sony is going to be doing multiplayer games in the future. We know there's a Last of Us multiplayer mode. They're clearly experimenting with Ghost of Tsushima. The only problem is Ghost of Tsushima's Legends mode pretty much fucking launched flawless as well.
Yeah, but again, you're not buying anything with that mode.
Yeah, you're getting, all that's free. All of it, even the raids are free. Yeah.
So they're concentrating on giving you what you want, not what they think you want, or like everything. There are mods in that game. You could update your character, you could make your character look different and everything. But you don't pay a dime for it.
Yeah, exactly. AFK, I'll be honest with you, I never bought it. I was never interested in it. It looked like crap from the first trailer. The Avengers looked stupid. Like, they look nothing like... If you're going to make an Avengers game after the Infinity Saga, you make those Avengers look like the Avengers from the Infinity Saga. If you had done that, everybody would have gone out and bought that game. Everybody, regardless of how shit the game ultimately turned out to be, people would have bought it because it looked like the Avengers.
If you are
Not what we got. They
You're a
look
long
like
way from
knockoff
anyone.
counterparts.
I got that game. He's absolutely right. It is
Great art.
crap. It's boring. The gameplay sucks. It's terrible. And Supreme even says the games have been released that way for years. As long as it's that service, if it's and you know what? Now we're piecing it together because these last few games have been that kind of thing. They have been a paywall.
Was Mass Effect Andromeda games as a service?
Mass Effect Andromeda? No.
Listen for who
Well, look how badly broken that was.
Huh. That's true.
Single player.
That's true. Well, I mean, that's one of the rare exceptions. You know, Cyberpunk I don't think was a service game either. I think it was just meant to be.
It was a purely single player game that took over 7 years to make, and it launched like that.
Yeah.
What were they doing for 7 years? Twiddling their thumbs and getting high?
That's what everybody asks. That's what everybody wants to know. What were you doing?
Yeah, just
Valhalla
madness,
does crash a lot. Valhalla, I'm not gonna lie, Valhalla crashes a lot.
Does it?
It does. I was playing the other day. I was shooting footage for a video, and the damn thing crashed on me like 3 times in one spot. One spot.
Well, again, it's a very unique position where I've not had that. Maybe, I don't know, is that something maybe a recent patch has done to the game?
Well, the new update, the new title update that they released like 2-3 weeks ago actually caused a lot more havoc in the game than anything. And again, they wanted to fix the invincibility glitch. They wanted to fix us from getting skill points rapidly. And in fact, I'm starting to think because they did the new mastery levels, it was capped at 30. And now I have not seen a cap yet. Anybody who has seen a cap, if you've seen a cap to the new mastery levels, definitely let me know. But
so I wonder if that's why they got rid of that whole bore thing.
Maybe. I'm thinking
and why your mastery levels were capped in the first place. Because they knew that existed, so we need to set that to 20.
I don't know, but I know that this new XP and silver thing, they're probably like, if you guys want to do the same crap that you guys did in Valhalla, you know, and you know, we're gonna make it so it's limitless like Origins, and you're gonna have to work for it. And if you don't want to work for it, then you're gonna have to do this. But the only problem with that is you really don't need it.
Pretty much AFK. That's what it sounds like, man. It sounds like they were just having orgies in their office for 6 years because The Witcher became a thing. and now all of a sudden they saw The Witcher on Netflix, and then their Witcher sales shot up by like fucking 400%. So they started having even bigger orgies. And yeah, man, do you know what? Shit, man. Live fast, die young, brother.
Oh wow, Crypto is level 80 on Bear Mastery and still going.
Wow.
See, that tells me that it's probably limitless right now.
Yeah, and then, so I have to ask this, Crypto. Do you see a difference in damage output in everything you do? If you're at mastery level 80, you must have seen a massive jump in damage.
There isn't. There definitely isn't.
Yeah, I understand Mass Effect Andromeda had engine problems because EA was pushing this. Everything has to work on the, and whatever the name of the engine was, the Frostbite engine. That's fine, but even after all those patches, man, like they gave up on that game. Like it's not even to this day, it's not even fixed. And there was so much DLC. The end of Andromeda, you get there, and it's like, right, here we are. We've got a new home base. We're going to have a bunch of adventures to do, and then EA was like, yeah, nah, let's just fucking cut this shit and get rid of it.
Yeah, Supreme, we got, what do you call it? Once you hit level 400, you get to mastery levels. And originally they were capped at 30. There's even a new there's like 3 new abilities, and they screwed that up because sometimes they just disappear.
Yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Ugh. Right.
It's absolute madness, like what they're doing with this game, and they really do need to fix it. Like there's plenty of stuff that you could do, but right now they're trying to. To me, it just looks like they're looking to squeeze as much money as they can out of you, because they're doing a lot of things that just look like a cash grab.
Yeah, I got to the end of it, and it did seem like they completely abandoned it, because when I finished it, I was like, ah, right, cool, man, there's obviously DLC here, and yeah, nothing. Well, but I've got about another 5 minutes, and then that's going to be me for the evening.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah, no, Supreme, they didn't, what do you call it? There's no new missions. There's nothing.
Yeah. Madness, man, total madness.
It is.
Well, I was, I went through this year and I thought, well, hopefully 2021 will be better. And the whole world just went to shit right at the end of the year again. So, if you thought you were getting God of War last year, pucker up. If you thought you were getting Horizon Zero Dawn 2 next year, severely pucker up. If you thought Activision was going to make a good Call of Duty next year, I would really pucker up.
I'm telling you. Oh, look at this, Rob.
Assassin's Creed, and if there's an Assassin's Creed game due for next year, I'd probably, I don't know, if you know the song Star Wars Duel of the Fates, I'd start listening to it.
There you go. Rob even said the Red Dead Online was the same thing. That was a cash grab. Red Dead Online, they're not even paying attention to Red Dead Online.
No, but yet they're selling it separately now.
Yeah, Rockstar isn't even paying attention to it. Their baby is still GTA 5 and GTA 5 Online. That's why it's coming to next-gen consoles.
Yeah, it's those shark cards, and that's why PlayStation players get 1 million a month while you wait for it.
Yep.
Because you know that 1 million a month that you get, as long as you do not spend it on the PS4 version, you know there's going to be some right hefty shit that you're going to be able to buy day one. Because you know GTA 5, if GTA Online is going to PS5, you know that shit's going to be crossplay.
Yep.
There's a reason why PlayStation is showering you with 1 million every month until it comes out. They want you to have a major fucking advantage when this game goes crossplay.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They did that purposely. They fixed the glitch because they want to sell you the card. Now, everybody, when we first did that glitch where we're showing you how to get to level 400 plus 90 with just killing that one cat, you know what I'm saying? Like, they said, damn it. They said, there goes our money. You know, so what they do, they fixed that. They now give you another however many mastery levels, because if you're a completionist, if you want to do this thing, you're going to do that. And then they go crazy over it. You know, like they give you all this other stuff. They give you, now they're selling you the XP booster. And not just the XP booster, the silver boosters. They don't want you to make money. They don't want you to make XP. They want you to buy it.
Yeah. Well, what I was going to do is, or say, is we do this podcast kind of, it seems to be quite sporadic lately, because of Christmas and restrictions and time zones and areas and how things work. What I want to run by you very quickly, see if people like this, is we do the Assassin's Creed one where we talk about our, like the Assassin's Creed and the rundowns. But how would you feel about doing maybe like a second sort of stream, sort of middle of the week, whether it be on your channel or I run something on my channel, where we cover a different game, whether that be Ghost of Tsushima or whether I pull you into a bit of Destiny to see if we can get you back into that?
Yeah, I think we could do that. I think maybe even
something different.
Yeah, maybe even if it's a different game, like every week or whatever.
Yeah, where
I think
we
that
can
would be
sit down
fun.
with a multiplayer, bit of Resident Evil 5, you know, like go through Resident Evil games, different types of games, sort of like break it up. Because as much as I love Assassin's Creed, unfortunately, until Ubisoft sort of pulls those thumbs out those asses that they've got, for me it's becoming harder and harder to talk about it.
Right.
And I'm sure you're feeling it as well, because like you said, you've slowed down in what you do, and it's starting to become a bit more sort of strenuous for you to get through, because it's like, come on, these bugs and all these issues are still persisting.
Yep.
And I feel like because we are Assassin's Creed fans, we still need to do that weekly where we talk about it. But I do feel that we need to try and find something that's more middle ground. See where we can just be more relaxed and just sit and just shoot the shit with people.
Yeah.
And just talk about random stuff, whether it be a game of Destiny, even if it's just, you know what, let's get you ranked up on Destiny. Let's get 4 people who play Destiny that are on your stream, and let's just pull them in and do a raid for a couple of hours and look like complete donkeys' asses trying to figure it out. You know what I mean?
I think that would be fun, honestly.
And even it doesn't even have to be a long one. It can just be like a sort of like small hour stream here, but just sort of to break the week up, because we're still going to talk about Assassin's Creed. No doubt, come April, May, we're going to be talking about. There's a teaser.
Exactly.
You know, although when I get a teaser this time round, I'm going to look at it and go, yeah, it was made during the COVID year. Do you think I'm stupid? And I hope Ubisoft takes that into account, because I don't think any gamer is going to look at a new trailer for something like Assassin's Creed, not a year after the last one came out, which has clearly been in development over half its life during the COVID era.
I'm telling you.
And take it seriously after the games that have been coming out this year.
Right. I don't know. Yeah, we could definitely do something like that. I think that would be a lot of fun, honestly.
Yeah, but I think we should split it up. Well, I think, like, maybe even if we're doing something like Destiny, even if we just don't limit that to just something like my channel, but like, do your channel as well, so that you like the viewers have 2 different perspectives on what's going on the same game.
Yeah, we could do that. I think that would be a lot of fun, honestly. Diversity never hurts.
So I think maybe try some new things, sort of expand, because yeah, like I love talking about Assassin's Creed, but my main problem at the moment is see until they get back to that lore that actually makes sense.
Right.
I'm struggling at the moment.
No, I hear you.
I am struggling at the moment.
I definitely hear you. All right, well, we'll end it here. You said you had to go. I've actually got to go myself. You know, like I'll hit you up during the week, and you know, like we'll discuss it and everything. We'll see what we want to do and what we want to do it, and then you know, like we'll probably hit everybody on the Discord server first and let them know from there. And then
I need to actually use the Discord server. I keep forgetting it's I forget it's even a thing. I have that many school emails and video calls and everything coming through for home learning. I'm at the point now. My phone goes ping. I don't even look at it.
Yeah, you got to check it out. We've been discussing a lot of stuff. We've had a lot of stuff here going on. It's been like a lot of fun. But anyway, everyone, we're definitely going to end this one. You know, thank you for coming on, taking a look. We'll see you next week.